One got knocked down, he won't get up again. The other went knocked him down. One got knocked down, and now he's fucking dead. The other went knocked him out. Combo breaker!
You know what? I'm gonna be really blunt about this. These two have the exact same freaking backstory. Like, you know what? Let me explain it. They were banished from their homes for failing to be responsible with their powers, and they got sent to Earth with their weapons taken away. And then they learned how to be responsible, quickly gained back their powers and weapons, and bam! And in case that doesn't ring a bell, today's matchup is between Thor, the god of thunder, and Star Butterfly, the slayer of the forces of evil. Thor, the god of thunder, and starred in one of the best Marvel movies for freaking ever, being Thor Ragnarok. Now, this isn't Thor's first matchup. He did fight the Prince of All Saiyans, and he did aid Team Marvel in their fight against DC, so he's a seasoned combo breaker warrior. But with the aid of Corno Keep, I have an in-depth updated Thor analysis. So let's talk about powers and arsenal. He's actually got a healing factor, and while it's not the greatest healing factor in the Marvel Universe, it's still really good and can heal from most wounds. He also has magic in the form of his elemental manipulation. He can manipulate the weather, electricity obviously, as well as air, earth, and even fire. He also manipulates energy, auras, and memories, and he has super senses. He can also amplify his stats with his warrior madness transformation, and this increases his strength to 10 times its normal amount. However, he does become ultra violent and can no longer distinguish friend from foe while in this form. He can create hurricanes just by breathing, and he can use telepathy to create illusions. He's also resistant to the temperatures of space and even soul attacks. He can fly, create force fields, sense and absorb energy, as well as manipulate matter and even turn invisible and intangible. Now, obviously, as I said, he can use electricity as a weapon, but he can also manipulate heat and use holy magic, as well as frickin' teleport. Now, that's a lot of powers, but it's not as amazing as his weapons. See, he wields Mjolnir, his trusty hammer, as well as his magical axe and a belt that boosts his strength. But Thor's not all weapons and powers. He's got some pretty impressive feats, too. Thor's super freaking strong as he's able to headbutt and damage the Silver Surfer, like full-on dent his head. The same Silver Surfer who survived an explosion of his solar system without a frickin' scratch. And he's fought Sentry, whose strength has been able to match World War Hulk. And we've even seen Thor trade blows with Hulk before as well. Not to mention Thor's shaking a black hole. And this isn't even mentioning his strongest attack. He has the God Blast. While it does take time to charge, Galactus has stated it could completely kill him. But this amount of power, this raw power, is reserved for the God Blast only. So, Thor's also super freaking fast, as, you know, he's able to keep pace with Silver Surfer and Beta Ray Bill, both which can cross galaxies in mere moments, and he can throw his hammer to the edge of the galaxy and have it return in 60 freaking seconds. That makes his hammer ungodly fast, and that makes him, like, ridiculously fast. I'll get into exact numbers in the final analysis, but oh god. He survived hits from the Silver Surfer and the Hulk, as well as an explosion of a solar system-sized starship. He also did fight the Sentry at one point, the same Sentry who's got the confirmed strength of 1,000,000 exploding suns. That's like a stellar feat. You see it? You get it? Because stellar solar systems and stars? Okay, I'll see my own way out, but maybe first I should finish this analysis. So, Thor's also a genius in combat. He's fought frost giants and other gods, as well as godlike creatures. He's fought alongside other heroes like the Avengers in multiple battles, and he's truly a great warrior. He's even traded blows with Sentry and the Hulk, who are some of the strongest characters in the Marvel Universe. But he isn't perfect. See, when Thor goes into his warrior's madness, he goes into a state of pure violence, and he can't distinguish friend from foe. Not to mention, he can be a bit cocky at times, and will hold back if he knows his opponent is weaker, just to extend the fight a little bit. So, Star Butterfly. I personally sat down and watched some of these episodes with my little brother and little sister, and it's an interesting show. She seems like a pretty interesting character too, but I'm not gonna lie, Simple Star helped me a pretty sizable amount with the Star research. So let's hop right into her powers and arsenal, and of course her magic spells. So starting off with her arsenal, she has her dimensional scissors, which can, well, cut open portals into other dimensions. She also has a sword, but her best weapon has to be her royal wand. With this, she gains all sorts of amazing spells that she can use in combat, such as the Bacon Kitty Hawaiian Nightmare, which, with this attack, she shoots a blast of, well, three-eyed kittens, bacon, and pineapples. It's actually surprisingly strong, though. With her Bunny Rabbit Blast, she can launch herself into the air with a blast of rabbits below her. She has her Dagger Crystal Heart attack, where she fires sharp, heart-shaped daggers that can impale foes, and she can even summon and launch whales. She can also fire exploding glowworms and at her foes, and she has a white-hot laser that can reduce an opponent to ash. She can also create a tsunami of starfish and water which is just really weird. She can also blast foes with attacks that cause mushrooms to grow in their body. Wait, what even are these spells? She can create a blast of narwhals that scatter all around, and she can launch exploding pandas. Man, I have not seen a weird arsenal like this since I did the mask. She also has multiple rainbow attacks, and she even has elemental attacks like lightning. She can also launch exploding stars, and she can summon a spider with a minigun hat. That one's actually pretty awesome. She has a free spells that can summon, and she can summon creatures. She can also lift things in the air with her magic, and she can even slow time temporarily. She can also cause her wand to self-destruct, and she can even see into the future. So, on to some feats. Star is actually pretty strong, as she has spells capable of destroying buildings, as seen when she knocked down a clock tower, and she is capable of destroying Ludo's castle, and she's kept up with Meteora. Now, she's also pretty fast, too, as she's fast enough to dodge laser-type magical projectiles, and in the opening, she ran past puppies firing lasers from their eyes. She can also keep up with Marco, who managed to catch Hekapo, who ran across the circumference of a planet in approximately 4 seconds, but you gotta keep in mind he was using portals, and it was a rather small planet. She's also pretty durable, as she can survive laser blasts and even her own spells on a few occasions. She's also survived hits from Ludo's wand, which could casually level buildings. Now, Star is pretty smart, as she has 15 years of experience with her magic and combat skills, but unfortunately she isn't perfect. She gets mad rather easily, she likes to party a little too much, and she doesn't actually formulate, plans, mostly fighting on the fly, which is good for some characters, but not that great for a 15-year-old girl. Thor wakes up in the Coliseum as he looks around confused, rubbing his neck. An announcer comes on the speaker. "Ladies and gentlemen, our champion, the God of Thunder, has returned, and he's got one hell of an opponent today. Introducing his opponent, Star Butterfly." Thor looks over to see Star walk out as she looks around confused. The announcer gets on the speaker. "Alright, this match will begin, but remember, no surrender, no mercy, only death." Thor looks at Star and begins to spin his hammer. Star spins her wand as Thor flies straight at her. She swings her wand and fires a swarm of bacon, kittens, and pineapples that fly at Thor. Thor stops and spins his hammer in front of him to deflect the attack. Star jumps up and launches a storm of narwhals at Thor, who quickly dodges them and flies up, grabbing Star by the collar and headbutts her, launching her straight to the ground. Star stands back up dazed as Thor walks over and goes to slam his hammer straight down on her. But Star puts up her wand and fires a panda into Thor's face, exploding, causing him to stumble back. Star stands back up and runs over and kicks Thor in the gut. Thor bends over in pain as Star puts out her wand and creates a fist made of rainbows that uppercuts Thor into the air. She jumps in the air and starts charging her cataclysmic total extinction death blast, but she's stopped as Thor's hammer flies at her and hits the wand straight from her hand and hits her in the face in the process. Thor lands as Star hits the ground with her wand landing in the distance. Thor sets down his hammer and walks over as Star stands back up. Thor sucker punches Star and follows up by kneeing her in the head. Star stumbles back as Thor goes to punch her, but she dodges, grabs Thor's arm, and bites him. Thor then screams in pain as Star Butterfly elbows him in the head. She runs over and grabs her wand as Thor puts out his hand. Thor's hammer flies back into his hand and he raises it up, causing storm clouds to form above the stadium. Star creates a large wave full of starfish that sweeps up Thor mid-attack, and she then launches a whale at Thor. Thor grabs the whale by its tail and spins it, throwing it back at Star. Star launches a swarm of bees downwards, destroying the whale and hitting Thor. A few bees go straight through Thor's eye, though. Star lands as Thor starts yelling in anger as he drops his hammer, and a red aura forms around him. A second aura forms around him, this time an electrical one. As Thor runs over at Star and grabs her by the throat and starts punching her face, causing her to lose a few teeth and fracturing her skull. He then drops Star as she falls to her knees, and Thor walks up behind her, grabs her, lifts her up over his head. As Star looks panicked, Thor tears Star clean in half, causing her blood and intestines to rain onto Thor's head, as he throws both halves of Star into the sky and where they're struck by lightning, turning them to ash. Our winner is Thor, and oh god, I am so sorry. For any of you Star vs. the Forces of Evil fans, I am sorry. That got needlessly gory, but at the same time, that was awesome. So allow me to explain the super obvious results. Thor is a solar system to multi-solar system buster, thanks to his fights with Silver Surfer and the Sentry, who has the strength of 1,000,000 exploding suns. Not only has he hurt both of them, but he's survived hits from them as well. Not to mention his God Blast, if fully charged, could kill Galactus. Yeah, that's a universal feat right there, but only with the God Blast. So what about Star? Well, she's fought and survived hits from the building level characters of her universe, and she busted a castle, so she's screwed. Maybe she can take speed, you're probably wondering? Well, no, not at all. Not even in the slightest. See, Star's best feats for speed are dodging lasers, which came from magic, so we can't even confirm whether or not they're the same speed as a standard laser. But if we're gonna highball it for highball's sake, we can put her at a light speed reaction speed. Well, Thor and his hammer are billions times faster than light, as he's fought Silver Surfer, who can cross galaxies in seconds, and his hammer can cross the galaxy and come back in a minute flat. That's way better than anything Star's ever shown to be able to react to or move at the same speed of. Also, Star is 15. That doesn't really give her all that much experience, plus she doesn't plan out her battles except for very rare occasions. So really, she has no way to win this fight. Looks like Star got Odin'd in this fight. Get it? Because Odin is Thor's dad, and I'm sorry, I'll see my own way out. I mean, it's the end of the episode anyway. Our winner is Thor. Next time on Actually, let me intercept myself right there. So, next time was going to be Spider-Man vs. Blue Beetle, because I'm super hyped to do that match, and huge thanks to ZDogS again for making the trailer for that match. I'm having a bit of difficulty doing the Blue Beetle research, so that's going to be postponed for a few episodes. So, allow me to introduce the next fight. Next time on Combo Breaker. There are two animals you never want to fuck with. A gorilla, because of their sheer strength, and a lion, also because of their sheer strength. Shit. Well, these two characters embody those animals perfectly. So, next time on Combo Breaker, we've got Leone versus Donkey Kong. First of all, let me thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this to any friends you know who like versus debates. And, tell me what you think of the next match. Give me your predictions, maybe suggest matches in the comments, and they might happen.